When God have a plan for you, no one can stop you, no one can't kill you, no matter what anyone do unto you. No one can't do you no harm. I'm Mary Mills. I was born in a little district called Savannah in the parish of St. Anne. On February 29, 1960, my mother told me that I because I born footway and anyhow, as a child growing up about the age of 11, 12 upward, my father keep telling me that if it wasn't for him, I would die long time. So eventually he sit and he tell me the whole story. He said when I was a baby, he and my mother have a dispute. She wanted to go to look for her family in St. Anne's Bay, but he did not have any money at the time. So he told her to wait until he get paid. But my mother could not wait. She catch the house afire. Well, my father did not have a skill. He do cultivation for people. So he said one day he went to the farm and out of the blue he heard someone crying for fire, fire. So he said he looked up and the smoke was coming from the direction of the house where he lived. So he put down his tools and began to run. So when he reached the house, it was on fire, and my mother have her hand on her head crying for fire, fire, and people running. So he said he asked her, where is the baby? She said she's in the house. That's me, the baby. My mother have another child who was 12 years at the time. She took him out, but a lady by the name of Miss Mercy came and ran in the house and take me out. He also told me that one day they were eating and as you know baby love food, so I put my hand in her food in the pot and she pushed me in the fire and he had to run and pick me up and gave me his plate of food and let me eat until I want no more. He eat the rest. I did not know about all these things. These are what I know about. When I was 7 years of age, my mother had a son who was not my father's child. The one my mother took out the fire and leave me. She went away for about 2 weeks and leave me with my father. So one night I can't forget, never will, she came back and said she came for my brother and leave me with my father on a Saturday night. I started crying because I wanted to go. Anyhow, she took my brother and leave me with my father. In the morning when we wake, he said, Mary, babe, put on your clothes. I'm taking you somewhere. He took me to a woman's house not too far and said I must stay there, and this is what I remember from my childhood. The woman that he leave me with have a aunt and a grand aunt live in that yard. The grand aunt was unable to move. She was bedridden and I have to sleep with her in the night. She urinate the bed and all my clothes was soaked of urine. When I wake, I have to bathe and change my clothes in the same process of time. I have to take food to my father, such as breakfast and dinner. I went to my father's home. I find him drunk and sleeping on the floor. I took out his money and a ratchet knife out his pocket and hid it and went back to where I was living. In the evening he came to look for me and asked for the money and the knife, and I told him where they was. But here a big thing. Now the woman that he leave me with have 3 nieces and we went to pipe for water. So as children we were playing and swinging on the paint pan, laughing and joking. So one of the niece came too near and my pan hit her in her head and it burst. Heaven came down and glory filled my soul. Heaven came down and glory filled my soul. She started crying and running, saying I burst her head. I ran with them home too. Can you imagine how they beat me, all 4 of them, and I have to run and hide in the bush. And when my father came, I come out of the bush and tell him, but he could not do anything because my squash was washed already, and I have to stay because I'm a baby, can't do nothing. So one day my father and my stepmother were having a discussion saying they were going away and they were bringing me with them. That is the same woman that he take me to live with. So one night they packed all their stuff and mine and began the journey. They started walking. We walk and we walk until we reach a distance. They stop and cook because they bring pot, meat and provision. I remember we came up on a river where we have to cross, but can't tell you where. Anyhow, we went to Portland Parish in a district called Prospect, where the ice factory is. My father said when he was a young boy he went there, so now he is going there back. And he went to a man home named Hyson, and he rented him a room, and we stayed there for a while. We have to draw water from a well. So one day, me and Hyson's son, by the name of one son, we went to look firewood, and the boy make a bow and arrow and shot me right in my gullet, the little soft part under my neck. I tell my father what happened, and he and the boy father put down a piece of quarrel, and about a week later my father leave back for the same journey to Clarendon. This time when we come back home, it was 5 of us because he made friend with a man named Sil and his wife Adassa. And we walk again and we cook at the roadside and eat, and we the women sleep while the men keep watching. On our way we get truck ride, but most of the journey we walk until we reach a place called Croftshill. He know a man named Charles Hills, and he rented them house and gave them a job. Then my father leave again for another parish, not so far this time. I left Croftshill School in grade 3, and one day when I was moving from grade 1 to grade 3, a woman teacher by the name of Miss DePaz lashed me with a cane between my leg and my calf under my knee. I could hardly walk. Love to Mistress Reed from Arthur Seat and John Reed, her son. Miss Reed was a teacher. When you see me reading from paper, I cannot remember to talk it straight like that, so I write it down. This is part 1 of my life story. Look out for part 2. Like, share, and subscribe. This is MRM, Mary Mills. Word space.